they are key to nonpartisanship. You may not have been a legislator for 5 years preceding service on the commission. You may not have been a lobbyist. You may not have been a political leader in a political party in the state of Utah. And then we have general aspirational standards, looking for people who are leaders in their community, known for their integrity and fair-mindedness, and who are willing to take a blood oath and sign over their children and grandchildren and uncles and aunts that they will act above the fray. So we have standards, and then the bill requires legislative leadership, the Senate, President, the Speaker of the House, the 2 minority leaders in the House and Senate, as a group in an open meeting that is transparent and where the public watches. And I think that's a significant check on their deliberative process and in their recruitment of candidates, however they want to go about doing that. They have to agree unanimously on 20 names that fit these nonpartisan criteria. Those 20 names then are placed in a hat, and 2 legislators who are selected in a mathematically random way draw the names from the hat, and the first 5 become members of the commission. There are built-in incentives then and counter-incentives for the leaders who have to create this pool of names to pick people who are the best quality people, people who aren't political cronies, political favorites, people who are above politics, because that's what we want. We want independent-minded, fair-minded people who will be fair to legislators, who will be fair to the legislature as an institution, who will be fair to the constituents who have elected and accused legislators, because their choice is very, very important and needs to be honored in this process. And we think that there will be more honor given and more respect given to that process and to all of those parties and interests if it's an independent, fair-minded personnel on the commission. The final check in this series of checks and balances is we're counting on legislative leaders to do the right thing. These are good people. We have confidence in them. We believe that they'll be fair and follow the process that the people enact through this initiative. But if they don't, then the fallback is that the 5 sponsors of the bill will act as a selection committee. But in so doing, they have to follow the same pattern, the same process, adhere to the same standards as legislative leadership. That's the independent commission, and it is empowered to do a number of things, to study reform, further reform. It's empowered to specifically is required to study the impact of money on politics at the state capitol. And in that respect, something that a number of people on our committee who fashioned this bill were concerned about was the low level, or what many feel is the low level of legislative pay. And if that pay were increased, would that be an antidote to what many perceive as the money problem? As you probably are aware, in our state there is a commission established by our Constitution through, and only through this body can pay increases for legislators to be implemented. So our bill requires this study to be forwarded to that commission in the hopes that reform will continue in that respect. That is in part what our commission is set up to do. Let me tell you briefly about our code of conduct. That's the next item. The code of conduct is not untypical of what we saw in many states around the country. There are 40 states, as Kim showed on his presentation, which have ethics commissions. 36 of those deal with legislative ethics. There are many state codes that deal with other governmental employees as well. They all share a number of common characteristics. We drew from many of these. We drew from recent experience in fashioning a code. If, in fact, as Senator Hilliard just indicated, it's not, it's not permitted now for a legislator to be a lobbyist lobbying in Utah, then that's good news. Our bill in that event will restate the present law. But in any case, I think we can all agree that that would be a conflict of interest that we wouldn't want happening at our state legislature. So the bill enhances disclosure requirements for legislators. We hope gives a more specific direction in some